So I'm down here on Ontario heading towards the expressway. One night, a guy decided, and this was on a Friday or Saturday night, the sidewalks were packed. He decided he would drive his car 100 miles an hour. 100 miles an hour down Ontario on a Friday or Saturday night. And the sound bar over here, and the Electric Hotel and Y Bar, and there's right around the corner Spy Bar, and then there's a country, and it was just packed. And he flew down here at 100 miles an hour, and now you either go straight or turn. And he ended up hitting this pole, I think, or that pole. Maybe he tried to make the expressway. One of these two, and he ended up, the car just broke into pieces. He hit it at 100 miles an hour. And think of all those people on the street. None of them got killed. Not a single person got injured or killed. And the only one who died was him when he hit that pole, trying to make the turn. And he hit it, and the car broke up. But he flew down that street, and the sidewalks are incredibly packed with people. And thank God again, not a single person walked against the light. Not a single person was walking against the light. No one crossed against the do not walk. He didn't run a red light. He got a green light, but he was still doing 100 miles an hour, and no one got hurt. It would have been way worse in Times Square. If he hit somebody, he would have tried to avoid, and he would have lost control. And what would a car at 100 miles an hour do to those sidewalks and those structures? Where would the car have ended up? At 100 miles an hour. And it was not even his car, it was a friend's car, and it was more of a performance vehicle. And he went down that street, and that's like one of the crowded areas for nightclubs. And he went down the street doing 100 miles an hour. And you think I'm a jerk about tailgating. But if you don't get control of these animals, then the animals kill you. And so people like in Japan, they got 37 million people. They don't allow the animals. They crush the animals. You tailgate, you speed, you jaywalk, you're gone. They crush the animals. So either you follow the rules or you're destroyed. Zero tolerance. Because one animal can kill lots of good people. And so they don't tolerate it. Like, have you ever heard in Seoul, South Korea, somebody doing that with a car? No. They don't tolerate. They literally end you. Too many people. These are incredibly concentrated cities. Go to Mexico City and you get people driving like Rodney King did, and then all the black people stand up for Rodney King, and you think, how many people could he have killed? Standing up for him, you think they would have been cheering. Beat that piece of crap. He went through their neighborhoods. He was on PCP. He could have killed their mother, their grandmother, their brother, their sister. And they don't think about that. And they didn't. They don't think about that. They think, oh, poor Rodney King. But if they really think about what he just did, they would have told the cops, keep on beating him. And you know who thinks about this? People in Ghana. And they say the opposite. They're like, that person is going to be stoned until they no longer breathe. So they take a different approach, but a much more sophisticated people. They understand the value of life. And these people doing these actions, which we think are normal, but when you get into those cities, they're incredibly concentrated, and somebody doing that is an incredible threat to unbelievable amounts of life. And so they take a different approach. They would have put Rodney King to death. They wouldn't have been supporting Rodney King. They would have been out there clubbing him, and he wouldn't have woke up. That would have been his last car ride. He wouldn't have got millions in a lawsuit. He wouldn't have been breathing. And it wouldn't have been wrongful death. So they have different mindsets. They got a lot of people in small areas to protect them, and they can't have people act like monsters. So they have a different mindset. Here, we allow people to act like monsters. There, you're dead. So take any of these black people. They don't have homeless people in Ghana. I was all over Ghana, and I asked. We don't have any homeless people. So a poor country, here, we allow them to act out and do anything. Over there, you're not around anymore. There's no tomorrow in getting away with it. There's no tomorrow. They eliminate the problem. They eliminate the problem. Just like Saudi Arabia, I told you. It wasn't tomorrow. It was off with as many heads as possible until the problem disappears. And we don't care how many people we have to decapitate. And they made the public statement. They wanted the terrorists to know. They don't care how many people they need to put 10 feet under. As many as it takes. And they eliminated the problem. But they have a will. In America, we don't have that will to eliminate the problem. And so the problem is everywhere. There, and talk to my friends. They agree with me. And they said this before me. It took me a while to reach this conclusion. They reached this conclusion a long time ago. I wasn't so fast. But now I agree with their conclusion. End as many of them as possible until the problem is gone. They don't want the problem resurging. They get out of prison and they eliminate the problem forever. No more problem. No more existence. So they look to end the problem permanently. But the United States, we play these games. And we're not in it to end it. And what happens? Decade after decade after decade after decade, we have these problems. They don't do that. They don't play those games. They're in it to eliminate it. Too many lives at risk.